Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another LEGO lighting project build, whatever you want to call it. I have some expectations for today, and I don't know if it's going to work out well for me. I want to essentially change the street lamps from being standard Brixmax issue, just like on the side, to something like this. And I like this. I like my initial idea, it works fine. There's one issue with these that make them really tough to work with. You have 3 wires on an extremely thin pole, and it's really tough to work around. And I was trying to even rope it around that pole. I extended the little top here, just trace the wires through so it's not as obtrusive. It's tough. It is genuinely tough to do. I wanted to do the intro while I've been working on the prototype for it, just to kind of get that portion done once I start ripping out some of the wires back here. Obviously it's going to be a little bit tougher. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I want to make them look more like traffic lights, but I want to add more motion to the city. And one of the things that I've been talking about doing for a while now is changing the camera light on this building to a flashing light. So I bought a flashing, blinking light, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to replace that light in there, which shouldn't be too bad. I essentially just have to trace the wire back through. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And just little stuff like that is what I really want to start doing. I love the city being lit up. It looks fantastic. But the only motion I have, and in terms of motion, I mean blinking lights. We have the traffic lights. We have 3 of them. I want to try and get 2 done today just because the one all the way in the back is an absolute bear to get to, and I kind of might leave it that way for now, just because I really don't want to rip up that portion of the city, and especially because I'm prepping for the winter village under the city. I just don't think I'm going to change that one. So I want to change these 2 today, and then if this design works, use it for the upper portion of the city, which is actually almost ready for some traffic lights. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be working on 2 street lamps, modifying them to make them look essentially better than what they currently are. And then, this is the timing mechanism. Essentially, you just do green, yellow, red, or red, yellow, green. Doesn't matter. Just have them synced up so they work. Obviously, you want them to go in order. And then essentially runs off of a battery pack, or for me, runs from a USB cable in the hub all the way down to my big power system. So a lot of stuff going on. This doesn't seem like a big project, but customizing lights, retracing some wires, and I'm going to see if I can add another blinking light to the city. I don't know if there's a good spot for it other than the top of the Daily Bugle, but getting to the Daily Bugle is just an experience. So I'm probably going to wait to do the Daily Bugle lights. I want to switch the radio tower to a blinking light, and here's the thing, if you have an idea like that, do it when you're building it. Don't be me and wait till the end, because now it's in the background of the city and I can turn it, now it's all the way back there. And the thing is, moving these Lego pieces is not bad. If these weren't wired, there would be no issue. The fact that they're all wired in, and the way that I wire them, and I talk about this a lot, 1 wiring process, one. Traffic lights are on their own just because they, require a different little route that I have to put them. But then the skyscrapers in the back, so the Avengers Tower, the Haunted House, and the Daily Bugle are all on their own system. But to do that, I would essentially have to rip out all 3 of these pieces, and it's just not worth it for a blinking light, in my opinion. But other than the 2 street lamps, all we have motion-wise is a little light on top of the police station. And I decided to do that while building it, and I love it. Just having that little bit of life to it, I think looks fantastic. Because don't get me wrong, I love how this city looks, but it looks a little too flat for me sometimes, and I really want to see it pop. I want to see more motion. I want to see some other stuff, because the only other thing, and I always forget about it, is the fountain from the assembly square, but it's off to the sides to the point that I can't even see it. So I've toyed with moving the assembly square a lot, primarily just to see the fountain, because it's one of my favorite portions of the city, and I've debated moving it to where the museum is, and then having Assembly Square next to the garage, and I still debate that every day. Maybe I'll do that in this episode, maybe not, I don't know. Preferably, Assembly Square would be where the Sitcomplex is, but that's a whole adventure. And then when the Sitcomplex grows, that height, it needs to be where it is. So that's where it makes it a little bit tough. Some of these modular buildings, just with the layout that I have to do, you're never going to see all of them. That's why the corner buildings are always more important to me, almost, because they need to look good on the outside. And even then, like, they're obviously not perfect yet, but you know what I mean. I like having that just pop up front. And Assembly Square is such a beautiful set and so well lit up. It's probably my favorite, honestly, lighting kit in here, aside from maybe the Daily Bugle or the Corner Garage, but it's just kind of hidden off to the side right now. I mean, all you guys can literally see is the side of it from here, right over here. So that fountain looks fantastic, and I have to repair, honestly, a couple of lights in there just because the adhesive wore off somehow. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do yet, but for now, I'm going to worry about the actual traffic lights. I'm going to worry about getting them to a good point where they look a lot better than obviously this. I have it kind of worked out pretty well for the forced portion of it. That did not go well, but I just need to fine tune it a little bit. These wires are going to show. There's no way they can't. There's nothing I can do there. But as somebody who would like to add even more of these traffic lights there, they're $20 a pop on BricsMax. That's expensive for a traffic light. So, doing that, ordering these extra pieces and stuff, I mean, it's expensive. It's like $25 almost per traffic light. So when you already have 3 of those, and it's tough to want to add a lot of those right away. So I'm excited to add some better traffic lights and some more motion to the city. Maybe I'll add something different that I'm not thinking of currently. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for joining me for another build. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and if you're interested in checking out stuff like this, head to the affiliate link below. It takes you to BricsMax and Lighttailing, which is pretty much the 2 brands that I use for almost everything in this room. Helps support the channel, and you guys get to start your own LEGO lighting journey. But now, let's get started on my LEGO lighting journey, everybody. Alright, well, after many, many attempts, I think I finally kind of have a layout I'm relatively happy with. Now, it's not perfect, don't get me wrong. These wires will not stay in for the life of me. So I'm doing my best. I'm gonna have to, fine-tune this for the most part. But you can see in the background, that one actually turned out a little bit better. I'm going to get, it's gonna look a little sloppy probably, but masking tape and some double-sided tape and seeing if I can make this adhesive a little bit better, and trace a thin piece maybe down through. Obviously you can glue them on there, but once they're there, you're kind of screwed because you can't peel them off without breaking them. And again, when these things are like 20 bucks a pop, that's a pain. So I hid as many of the ground wires as I could, and they all channel through this little piece here. Of course you're going to see wires. There's no way around it. There's nothing you can do to avoid that with these, unless you run like a really thick piece of something that I don't know of, kind of like a tube system. But even then, I think you're going to have wires somewhere. So just because these things aren't hollowed out. But overall, I mean, I do like it. If there's a better design out there on Rebricked or something like that, I'm definitely open to it. So definitely comment below if you have a better system for this. I'm happy with it for now, and I think it's not bad. Mainly the wires up here, I can live with. Down here, I can hide them to be out of the point of view, but it's still going to be there. The other side, the adhesive already failed, unfortunately, just by starting this video a couple minutes ago, so it happens. Now, when I was rewiring a couple things in the city, I've noticed a lot of the adhesive is failing. So basically, if you don't know what I mean by adhesive, a lot of the bricks actually use an adhesive system on the strip light, like a little light glue, and you basically put it onto another Lego brick that they send you, and you just plop it to wherever you're putting it. So for these are adhesive on just by little squares. They're obviously not the best. And actually, I was going to Assembly Square, and I was fixing a lot of the old lighting systems just because they were falling or failing. And, it happens, Maintenance is a thing. It's just really annoying to maintenance a city this size. I can't even imagine, Brixie. I can't even imagine a city like that. Thankfully, his isn't lit up. I know he was talking about, getting started with that, but I can't even imagine trying to light up a city that size just with wire management and stuff like that. That's why I tried to start lighting when it was a smaller city and then keep it growing. But maintenance-wise, I think it's something I'm going to have to start doing more of. Things settle, adhesive fails, lights don't work sometimes, anything could happen. And I noticed one of my lamps are out. I noticed a bunch of the adhesive in the main strip lights, which they're hard to notice from my seat, unless they're actually dangling somewhere. I know there's one in the Avengers Tower that's broken, but you know, it's all the way in the back and it's an absolute pain. I'm gonna have to do an episode here eventually, which is just like how to perform maintenance on a big Lego city, and I think that could honestly be pretty helpful to people. But like between vacuuming up the dust, managing lights, especially, like, it's actually more work than you'd want it to be. But that's just one of those like little nitpick things that you hate doing. You know, you never want to clean up after a project. You just want to get started with the next one. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to work on, I think. Specifically the Daily Bugle, it has a lot of issues, and a lot of the wires like are actually like peeking out of the side, and like once I notice more of them, yeah, it's gonna drive me insane. But I can definitely make it look better. So I think I'm gonna have to do one big like maintenance route and just fix up a lot of things, like minifigures that fell all the way in the back and lights that just aren't working the way they should, or something like that. Now, the other part of this video was adding some color, and all of my batteries are charging at the moment. I didn't feel like rerouting something for it. So they sent me the wrong light. This was supposed to be white or blue. It didn't matter. I went with white just so I had spares. It's supposed to be that color there. They sent me the RGB color changing one, and I actually don't hate it. Now, I might switch it down the road, but I actually kind of like it. It looks different, and this is what I mean by just like having a little action and some motion in the Lego City. Just something as simple as the light changing, as simple as a little light blinking, the stoplights going on and off. I love it. I love having just a little bit of action, and I've been debating lighting up the cars that are going in and out of the city, but I don't know. I don't know yet. They're not Speed Champions based, so they don't have sets for them. It's just like the Avengers taxi, the little city police car, the Indiana Jones car, the moving truck, like some stuff like that. But they're just not perfect to light up. Excuse me. And I don't know how I would run the brick to it, essentially. So I'm gonna have to see, like, maybe the power bricks or something like that. I can try and actually like make something work. But I would love to have like the police lights going. I would love something like that. I think that would be super awesome to have the actual cars lit up and to have it where they're like individual. But even then you'd have to go in, and obviously it's a super first world concrete creator problem when I'm gonna say this. But it's be a pain to go in and actually light up every individual car by hand. Yeah, it's annoying, but it would still look pretty cool. So I don't know yet. That's a pipe dream, I think, for now. But now let's get this put in the actual city, and we can see what it all looks like at once. All right, so this is no room lights, blackout curtains. This is just the city illuminated. Obviously, yeah, up top is also lit up, but you can't see that from here. Now, I am happy with everything that we added today. The little color changing light off to the side here, I think does actually look pretty cool. So I am happy with that. I'm going to keep it for now. Maybe I'll change it to blue a little bit later on. I'm not sure yet, but I like how the stoplights look. I also forgot to mention, right here, this clock tower is part of the Holiday Main Street set. So that is what that's from. Same thing with the Main Street sign on the other light. But I like it. I think the city is looking good. Small changes like these take a while to do just because of all of the wires. And again, like a little project like this was $50. That's insane in this day and age. Spending $50 on like a couple lights. So, you know, little videos like this might not take a long time for you guys to watch, but they actually take longer than you think to make. But I love it. I love adding little details like that and just having that little bit of range. Now, the reason I did the stoplights facing this way instead of facing in was because I couldn't see them facing traffic that way, and I think it'll be better if I add one to each of the other street corners facing that direction. I think could be better, but in hindsight, it'll never be perfect. What I honestly like, what would look better, one here, and facing this way. Same thing with down there. So, you know, if I really want to make an intersection one day, the only issue really would be the wires. Like, the wires would be insane. Like, I can get over $100 for streetlights. I'll hate it, but like it's a thing, you know. When you light up this stuff, you kind of accept it. But just the wire management is really tough. Like, if you guys could see the back alleys to some of this stuff, it looks terrible, but you know, it's hidden, and that's why you have to make sure, like, you don't die on every hill when you're trying to do some of these setups, you get it to a point where it's manageable. And you know, this is all very temporary. When we leave this apartment, we're buying our first house in the next year or two. When the Lego room becomes more of a thing, rather than just like one singular small apartment bedroom for it, it'll be better. And I'll have wire management and everything like that. So I'm excited for when that happens. But for now, it's about making it work the best I can. I thought about maybe adding all the way in the background there with the backlight. I thought about maybe making that blink. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But I have a lot of these little ideas in mind, and hopefully we can make them happen. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another LEGO build. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. And again, if you want to get started on all these lighting projects, head to my affiliate link in the description below to get started on your LEGO lighting journey and help support the channel. And I'll see you next time. Happy building, everybody.